Welcome back to Rapture Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get ready for another story you won't forget. Let's dive back to the story. Grace Holloway was 13 when her life shattered quietly. Her father's funeral ended. The house went silent, and the warmth she once knew vanished with him. Beatrice Langford, her stepmother, stopped pretending almost immediately. The smiles disappeared, replaced by sharp commands and cold stares. Grace was moved from her bedroom to a narrow storage room, told it suited someone who ate but didn't earn. From that day, Grace became invisible. She cooked, cleaned, washed, and endured, while Olivia and Amelia Langford lived like queens. They wore fine clothes, laughed loudly, and mocked Grace's worn shoes. Beatrice watched it all with satisfaction, reminding Grace daily that charity had limits and gratitude was her only right. Grace grew up learning silence. She woke before dawn and slept long after midnight, her hands rough, her spirit bruised. School was taken from her under the excuse of expenses, and books were replaced with brooms. Each insult carved deeper, yet Grace never spoke back. She believed kindness was her only shield. At night, she whispered prayers into the darkness, asking for strength rather than escape. She helped neighbors quietly, shared food with beggars, and offered smiles where none were returned. No one noticed her goodness, except a man who stood at the edge of the market, watching through hidden eyes. Julian Ashcroft arrived in town as a rumor. People said he was blind, poor, and lived on donations. He sat calmly with a walking stick, dressed simply, listening more than speaking. Most avoided him. Some mocked him. Grace was the only one who greeted him without pity or fear. She spoke to him like an equal, describing the sky, the weather, and the sounds of life. She offered him food when she could, even when it meant hunger for herself. Julian never forgot her voice. He noticed how gentle she was, how honest her words sounded, untouched by greed. Beatrice noticed Julian too, but differently. To her, he was a solution. Grace was a burden, a stain on her comfort. When Julian's people approached with an offer of marriage, Beatrice laughed cruelly. A blind beggar for a useless girl seemed fitting. The money offered sealed her decision. Grace was told without choice. Beatrice mocked her tears, saying she should be grateful anyone wanted her. Olivia and Amelia laughed openly, calling it a perfect match of nothingness. Grace packed her few belongings in silence, her heart heavy but strangely calm. The wedding was small and cold. Grace wore a borrowed dress and trembling hope. Julian said little, but his voice was steady when he vowed to cherish her. As Grace left a house that had never loved her, she felt fear, but also relief. She didn't look back. The journey to Julian's home changed everything. The carriage rolled through tall gates into a vast estate. Grace thought it was a mistake. Julian gently removed his glasses, standing tall, confident, and seeing. Her shock left her speechless as he revealed the truth he had hidden. Julian was not blind, nor poor. He was a billionaire who had disguised himself to find truth. He told her he had watched her kindness, her strength, and her humility. He chose her because she never asked for reward. Grace wept, not from fear, but from release. Life transformed gently, not suddenly. Grace was surrounded by comfort. Yet Julian never let wealth change her heart. He taught her confidence, education, and freedom. She learned to speak without fear, to dream without guilt. Love grew slowly, built on respect and honesty. Their marriage became a partnership of souls. Julian admired Grace's compassion, while she admired his wisdom. He never controlled her, never reminded her of her past. Instead, he honored it, saying it shaped the woman he loved. Grace finally felt safe. News spread back to the village like wildfire. The beggar was a billionaire. The orphan was a lady of wealth. Whispers turned to laughter, and laughter turned toward Beatrice. People mocked her for selling gold as stone, for discarding a treasure she never valued. Beatrice's pride crumbled. Friends distanced themselves. Olivia and Amelia faced rejection and shame. The house that once echoed with mockery grew quiet. Regrets settled heavily. But forgiveness did not come easily, not from the world, and not from Grace. Yet Grace returned. Not with anger, not with pride, but with calm grace. She stood before Beatrice, now smaller than she remembered. She offered help, not revenge. Money for groceries, kindness without conditions. Beatrice could not meet her eyes. Grace left without lingering. She had learned that forgiveness was freedom. Her past no longer defined her, nor did bitterness have a place in her heart. She chose peace, carrying it back to her life of love and purpose. Julian watched her with pride. Wealth had not changed her soul. Power had not hardened her heart. Grace remained the same girl, who shared food at the market. Together, they built a life of generosity, helping others silently, without applause. Grace's story became a quiet legend, not of riches found, but of goodness rewarded. She proved that true inheritance was not money or status, but character refined by suffering and preserved by choice. And in that truth, she lived fully, finally whole. That's all for today. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.